Light is Britain's far-right conspiracy theory paper spreading hate and vicious lies. No, that's what the BBC say. The Light is the only national newspaper bringing you the real news and informed opinion on what's really going on today. You can subscribe, order copies, submit articles, and read back issues on our website, thelightpaper.co.uk, and see for yourself why the establishment are so worried about the uncensored truth getting out to people every month. The Light Paper. Not far right, just right so far. Thelightpaper.co.uk.
Scene script. Have you ever pondered the idea of financial independence and early retirement? The notion of not having to clock in at 9 or wrestle with the daily grind? Imagine a life where you're not shackled by financial obligations or a demanding job. It's not an impossible dream, but a reality for those who embrace the FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early. Consider the tale of Jane, a woman in her early 30s. Jane was an ordinary person living an ordinary life. She had a 9-to-5 job, a mortgage, car payments, and a lifestyle that was comfortable but hardly extravagant. And like most people, she dreamed of a life where she didn't have to worry about money. Jane decided to make a change. She began by cutting back on non-essential expenses, saving as much of her income as possible. She invested wisely, focusing on assets that generated passive income that didn't require her to trade time for money. Slowly but surely, Jane began to build her financial independence. She was still working, but she was no longer living paycheck to paycheck. She had a safety net, a cushion that gave her the freedom to make choices based on what she wanted, not what she needed. Fast forward 10 years, Jane, now in her early 40s, had achieved her goal. She was financially independent. She had enough passive income to cover her living expenses, and she no longer needed to work to survive. She was free to retire early, to spend her time as she pleased. Jane's story may seem extraordinary, but it's not unique. It's the story of anyone who has embraced the principles of the FIRE movement. It's a tale of discipline, of sacrifice, and of a relentless pursuit of financial independence. To summarize, the key points discussed today revolve around the idea of financial independence and early retirement. It requires discipline and sacrifice, cutting back on non-essential expenses and saving as much as possible. It involves investing wisely, focusing on assets that generate passive income. But most importantly, it requires a change in mindset. It's about seeing money not as a means to buy things, but as a tool to buy freedom. It's about understanding the true value of time and the freedom that comes with not having to trade it for money. This is the essence of the FIRE movement. It's not just about retiring early, it's about achieving financial independence, about gaining the freedom to live life on your own terms. Like Jane, you too can embrace the principles of the FIRE movement and embark on a journey towards financial independence and early retirement. After all, the only thing standing between you and your financial freedom is you.
Ever wondered how much you'd need to save to achieve financial independence? The answer lies within the mathematics of a concept known as FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The most essential number in your journey to financial independence is calculated by multiplying your annual spend by 25. Notice the emphasis on annual spend, not annual income. This calculation is based on the principle that you need £300 invested for every pound you wish to spend each month in passive income. Hence, your FIRE number is also your monthly spend times 300. This mathematical principle is founded on the 4% safe withdrawal rate, as defined by financial advisor William Bengen. He proposed this rate after analyzing the S&P 500, which typically produces an average of better than 10% growth per year when studied over a period of approximately 30 years. Bengen considered factors such as inflation and market volatility. After studying previous market activity, he concluded that a 4% rate of withdrawal per year would provide for a 30-year sustainable portfolio in the vast majority of cases. So to paint a clearer picture, if your monthly spend is £1,000, then your target for financial independence is 300 times 1,000, or £300,000. Alternatively, if your annual spend is £12,000, your financial independence target is 25 times 12,000, which also equates to £300,000. The first step in planning your financial independence, therefore, lies in understanding your monthly and yearly expenditure. Without this knowledge, it is impossible to take further strides towards your financial freedom. In summary, the mathematics of FIRE revolves around the principle of multiplying your annual spend by 25 or your monthly spend by 300 based on the 4% safe withdrawal rate. Knowing your monthly and annual spend is crucial in determining the amount you need to save to achieve financial independence. Armed with this knowledge, you can then plan your journey towards financial freedom. Remember, the journey to financial independence is not a sprint, but a marathon. Embrace the mathematics of FIRE and take the first step towards your financial independence today.
Right, good morning guys. It is 7:55 on Monday the 23rd of September 2024, and that means we have completed 2 years and 25 weeks of this roughly 8-year FIRE journey. I said before that I would hopefully revamp the intro, and indeed I have done that, as you would have seen if you were here at any point during the last 10 minutes or so. We are currently roughly 5 minutes ahead of market open, which is fine. That gives me time to have a quick look at the state of play as things stand. And also to bring a couple of other things to your attention as well. First of which is just to say that there is a new free shares campaign starting from tomorrow, according to Trading 212. I will be posting my affiliate link in the description for this video as and when the campaign goes live. I would always say to people that I would prefer that you not go ahead and take up the affiliate link unless and until you are sure that you want to get involved in investing and that you've done your research and that you have a clear idea of what it is you want to achieve, how long you intend to be an investor for, and also I suppose that Trading 212 is the right platform for you. Because if you haven't done all those things, then I feel there's a significant risk that you could find that you end up losing money, or that things do not go as expected and you end up perhaps selling at the worst possible time, that kind of thing. So as I say, for all those reasons, please do not be tempted merely by the idea of being able to get free shares up to the value of £100, because it's important to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and so on. Guys, quite often I hear the expression, your health is your wealth, and I believe that's very true, and to a certain extent financial independence is all well and good, but it doesn't mean much if you don't have your health. Now, there is currently a public consultation ongoing in relation to updating the Public Health Act, Northern Ireland 1967. The consultation was originally set to conclude on the 27th of September, but there has been quite a bit of public concern about the content of it, and the deadline has now been pushed back to the 14th of October. That's a Monday. And just to tell you a little bit about what is in the consultation, here's Melissa.
Do you want to be forced to have medical examinations, forced to go to hospital and detained there, forced to quarantine for up to 28 days, children kept from school for 28 days, forced to receive medical treatment, including a vaccine? That's right, forced vaccination, required to wear protective clothing such as masks, have restrictions on where you can go and with whom you can have contact, forced to abstain from work, businesses forced to close and restrictions on travel. Do you want a repeat of any of this? The Northern Ireland Department of Health are in the process of pushing through a medical tyranny bill to cement into legislation a more extensive and oppressive form of the emergency powers so detrimental not just to the economy, but more importantly, the physical and mental health of our people in an effort to move us into a healthopoly medical enslavement. You have until the 27th of September to kill the bill.
Okay, so as I said before, the closing date for responses to that consultation has actually now been pushed out to the 14th of October, and it's all well and good, as I say, being financially independent, but you need to have your health to be able to enjoy it. And if, like me, you would be opposed to mandatory vaccination, then perhaps you want to have a look at that website. Right, to come on to what is happening in the market and whatnot, it should have just opened. Hopefully, let's scroll down a little bit and see. Okay, so the days range compared to where it was, I think that hasn't changed, so I'm assuming that things haven't quite jumped into life yet, but let's have a look at the state of play. So currently we have a portfolio value of £81.17. In fact, you can see there's 0.00% change today, so there's been no changes recorded as yet. The portfolio contains 229 shares. The average purchase price is currently 67.61, and as you can see down at the bottom here, there is the spread there for the 52-week rolling year. So at the bottom end it had been as low as 64.49, and at the highest to date it had hit £83 and almost 10p. So obviously it's pulled back a little bit since then, sitting currently at 81.17. Let's have a look at the notifications. Only two things this time. FedEx down 13.6% on missed earnings, and Mercedes-Benz down 6%, cutting earnings outlook amid weak Chinese market. I just saw movement on my left here, so something has happened. Quite often when I look at the notifications, I finish by saying that I didn't recognize very many of the companies mentioned, or that kind of thing. Obviously FedEx and Mercedes-Benz, two very well known brands. FedEx, the courier, and Mercedes-Benz, the vehicle manufacturer, both down. Now that's from 2 days ago, so in fact that would have been Friday. If I remember rightly, the market dropped about 0.5% on Friday. So just looking at the thing for today so far, as you can see, while we were looking at that, the figures have moved very slightly. Currently the market's showing a slight increase of just over 0.1%. And guys, let's go ahead and do our weekly investment. So I'm going to be putting £120 of theoretical value into the S&P 500. As you know, if you follow the channel, this is a practice account. We're using the Trading 212 practice platform, and by investing £120 per week, I'm going to be able to make the £50,000 that they give you at the start of your practice account last for roughly 8 years. And as I've said before, I think the £120 per week is roughly not dissimilar from what I would like to be investing in my own portfolio for my own early retirement. So as you can see here, we are doing a market buy. That just means that the execution price will be determined by market conditions. Although the market is currently open, we will be buying based on the current market value. We'll be buying almost 1.5 shares, but not quite. And there is no commission payable. Keep an eye on the average purchase price, so it's 67.61 at the present time, and so it looks as if we have executed there. We got 147, sorry, one share 0.47 for 81.31. And average purchase price has now gone up to 67.7. Now, I've changed the theme slightly on this. I used to use a black theme. I think this one is called Navy. And the reason I've done that is I think it makes it slightly easier to see the grey lines on screen. Let me just try and show you what I'm talking about. Well, actually, before that, let me just say that, so now, as you can see, things have updated here. We currently now own 230 shares, and in fact, almost 230 and a half. Current market value 81.30. And current portfolio value roughly 18,740, and that gives us a return on investment of 20%. So let's have a look at what I was saying just a second ago in terms of being able to see the grey lines. Hopefully you can see the grey line where the mouse is tracking better than you used to be able to. So yeah, that is what that is. The grey line is basically the money going into the account. So that is this figure up here where it says invested. Okay. So the grey line should be pretty constant because I invest every week. And then the blue line represents the market value at the time, depending on the variation in price, etc., etc. Now this depiction on the right here, this absolutely horrific looking thing, is only horrific looking because of the scale that it's set to, first of all, and second of all, because of the time frame that it is looking at. So that's currently set to 1 day. If we set it to a week, it'll already look a little smoother. Set it to a month, a little bit more. 3 months looks a bit more like that. And now actually you can sort of see the average purchase price creeping in at the bottom there. We set it to a year. It looks like that. Now maybe at the year point actually it is worth stretching it slightly. And if we set it to max, it looks like that. So basically what that is showing us is pretty much the same as the graph that we normally look at on this side here. Although, well, I suppose if I roll that out a bit, there you can see the COVID effect there. I always think that's a good reference point. So you know basically whenever you see the COVID effect on screen that you're seeing at least as far back as the start of 2020. If we go back to the other view, which I think was here, wasn't it? Yeah. So there's our COVID effect there. I don't know if I can, no I can't. And if I put it to a year we'll lose it because it was so much earlier than that. And I don't think, oh maybe I can. Oh cool, okay, so we can actually bunch that as well. Let's pull it slightly this way. What am I set to? Am I on a year there? There we go. So there's your COVID effect there. Yeah, anyway, it's a thing to fiddle about with, have a bit of fun with, and just get to an understanding of what you're looking at, I suppose. But anyway, as I say, normally I would make the comment that when I'm looking at the notifications, I don't recognize most of the companies that are shown, and my comment usually would be, and that's fine because I don't have to, because I buy the S&P 500, so therefore I am buying the 500 best performing shares in the market, and that's all I need to know because the market is self-cleansing. It is not something that I particularly need to concern myself with, other than understanding that the main thing to do is to keep investing, and that way any fluctuations, any dips in price, I'll be able to capitalize on by dollar cost averaging and essentially buying a little bit more than what I would otherwise. But guys, with that said, that is going to be it for this week. Thank you for watching. If you have been, if you particularly enjoyed this episode, why not give it a thumbs up? And if you're interested in following the journey, the remaining 5.5 years roughly, why not subscribe to the channel? Thanks for watching today and have a great end to your Monday. Catch you next week.